A need, a guilty pleasure, something frightening.
Excuse me?
Humor me. I need some inspiration for my poem.
Oh, I get it. What was it again?
A need, a guilty pleasure, something frightening.
Order. Sorting my notes. Chaos.
Thank you.
So, you have a poem for me now?
I'll need some time. Come find me later.
It's a bloody photograph of Carl and a young woman, taken fairly recently by the look of it. He's holding hands with the woman, but I can't discern her face. Too much damage to the photo. She's wearing a brass necklace. Could be relevant. I don't think he'd be interested in that. Nice, soothing sounds. Nice spot there next to the wind chimes, but I don't feel like sitting down. An anatomically correct gentleman.
Howdy, Pilgrim, and welcome to Walter's Bot Emporium. Novelty bionics, pet androids, robotic companions, we've got them all.
Hi there. I'm Special Agent Vera Englund.
Ooh, here to solve the murders, right? What? Did Pop spill some oil when he lubed my joints this morning? I told you to keep my chassis clean in case of chicks.
For crying out loud, Nissa, just let the police lady ask her questions.
Oh, great. A ventriloquist act.
Oh no, she's on to us. Fine, you caught me. The man with the blue hat is just a puppet that I'm cunningly controlling with a set of strings.
That's a gosh darn lie. I'm fully steam-powered.
This is inappropriate behavior, citizen. I have some questions about the recent murders.
Sure thing, officer. Just keep in mind that all of these are just harmless automatons. There's no real CPUs or nothing around here.
I'm not here to report illicit technology. I'm just interested in the killings.
All right, then shoot. Ask away.
Did you know Carl Oscarson?
Yeah, friendly guy. Came here buying spare parts every now and then.
Spare parts? Like what?
All sorts. Filters, tubes, nuts and bolts, various electrical gizmos.
Any idea of what the parts were for?
Couldn't say, but I'm pretty sure whatever it was, it had fluid in it. Maybe a water filtering system, a pump, something like that.
All those parts laying around, but do I ever get a working left arm, Pops? No, you'd rather let some carpenter assemble a goddamn aquarium.
I could replace Mr. Limpy with a water gun if you prefer.
Man, soon you'll even let the kids paint a clown face on me again.
With a water gun for an arm, at least you could spray yourself clean afterwards.
What's your opinion on Gabriel, the policeman?
He's an asshole. That's what.
Nissa thinks that guy is robophobic. Don't ask.
Do you know anything about a woman who is seeing Carl Oscarson?
Nope, I hardly even knew the guy.
So, what can you tell me about yourself?
Me? Oh, well, what you see is what you get.
A crazy old fart with chronic coffee breath?
Oh, quiet, you little rascal. What I am is a tinker, a craftsman, a father of machines. I cherish building them. I adore putting them on display, and I especially love talking to them.
I've noticed. So how long have you been building robots?
Oh, ever since I was a boy. I grew up over at the junkyard. The place was cramped with old discarded robots. I didn't have many friends, you see. So, I decided to befriend these machines instead.
Any idea what this key opens?
Sure. I saw a small safe in the junk with a key just like it a while back. It disappeared later.
Good to know, thanks. What do you make of this?
No clue. But I gotta use doofus more often. Such a funny word.
Do you recognize this young couple?
Just the man, Carl Oscarson. Can't see who his lady friend is.
I'm off. See you later.
Take care.
Bye-bye, police lady.
What does this little guy do?
Clean. Like a mean machine.
He doesn't look very mean.
Looks can be deceiving. He's nothing but vicious towards stains, dust, and all of their ilk.
What did people use the crab for?
Once upon a time, this was the most popular kitchen model. This fella could take care of any food-related task. Except the handling of shellfish, obviously. Even robots have moral standards.
What does that tube-looking robot do?
That's no robot. It's just my teapot.
Not everything with lights on is a robot, you know. Gee, some people.
What does the pointy little bot in the back do?
Oh, a bot of many talents. Paperweight, table lamp, pestle, or perhaps a fashionable baton? The only limit is your imagination.
Guess that belongs with the head up front. Is the big guy in the back your mascot or something?
You mean Ufa? Nah, he's more of a concierge. He's sophisticated like that.
What's up with the head?
What do you mean? You think it's too big?
The robot head on the table, that is.
Oh, yeah, it keeps coming off. I'll fix it eventually.
I'm surprised the Bureau got their thumb out of their ass. It's not like they could find Nordson on a map.
I, for one, am grateful for their help. From what I hear, the person they sent is young, but quite capable.
Optimistic as always, eh, Kurt? I guess we'll see. Agent Anglin, we've been expecting you.
Councilwoman, I was told you'd be my bureau contact here.
That's correct. I'm Stina Ruth, and this here is Kurt Anderson, police commissary.
Welcome, Agent. Enjoy your trip to the middle of nowhere?
It was a bit bumpy, and way longer than I expected.
Yeah, that train has seen better days. You'll find your luggage in your quarters, just through the door behind me.
Thanks. I'll check it out later.
So, you were probably confused as hell when we sent you straight to a crime scene, right?
Kind of. I thought I was supposed to investigate a murder from last week.
You were, but unfortunately a second killing required your urgent attention. I assume there is some Bureau procedures before I brief Agent England about the situation?
Yes. Why don't you head to your office, and I'll send this youngling on her merry way when we're done.
Very well. It was a pleasure to meet you, Agent.
Likewise. I'm a bit confused here. Who do I report to?
Only to me as overseer of this district. The local police are at your disposal since they're legally required to aid you in the investigation.
Got it. How would you like me to share my findings with you?
Face to face, in the evenings. The balcony inside the local canteen is a good place to meet.
Okay. I think I have what I need then. I'll go talk to the commissary.
Good. We'll catch up later. Oh, but I have to ask. Tell me, how was it for you?
What do you mean?
Come on, you know what I'm talking about. We've both done it.
Oh, you mean the augmentation, the nanofluid injection.
Sticking to the boring scientific terms, aren't we? Back in my time, we used to just call it taking the blue. Come on, let this old lady live a little. Tell me, how was your first kiss with the blue?
sense of enlightenment and acute awareness washed over me. A crystal clear lucidity I had never felt before.
I remember that moment like it was yesterday. What I wouldn't give to feel like that again. No side effects, I hope? We wouldn't want you to get compromised in dangerous situations.
Not yet, but I know what to look out for. Mild hallucinations, nightmares, burning sensations in the limbs, the occasional migraine. Things like that.
Yeah, that covers the usual suspects. All right, I think you're good to go then. We shouldn't keep the commissary waiting.
Low maintenance. My kind of plant. It's a map of Nordsund. Looks like the center of the disk is hollow. Curious. Nah, I have work to do. Damn good coffee. A thermos, presumably filled with coffee. Looks purely decorative. There's a bottle of molding resin here. Might be useful. Nice big lemon. Small miracle to see it grow to that size under these conditions. No, I'm not tired. Maybe later. I'm not that hungry. Doesn't appear to be functional. There's not even a switch or anything. A bottle of molding resin. I can use this to cast different shapes. It might also work as a glue. Unmanned. Makes sense with no people in here. Probably for opening the cells. I don't need to mess with that. Empty. Probably for opening the cells. I don't need to mess with that. Empty.
All right, Agent. Would you like me to brief you about the first murder?
Yes, please.
Maya Strand, 41 years old, the caretaker of the Nordsund Museum. She was found by the janitor on the floor near the exhibits early last Wednesday. Just like Carl, she was stabbed. No witnesses, no evidence. Killer practically a ghost. No signs of a forced entry, so either the entrance was open or she let him in herself.
What about her residence? Anything out of the ordinary in there?
Nothing, as far as we could tell. But we left the place as we found it if you want to have a look. She lived upstairs from the museum.
Noted. The crime scene is no longer intact, though, correct?
Afraid so. The museum is important to Nordsund, so we had the place cleaned out pretty quickly.
Exactly what kind of power does Town Hall have over the Nordsund police?
Well, there's the elected mayor, Marianne Holst, and the town council with 5 members. Technically, they can't interfere with our work, but they do allocate resources to the police department, so I try to appease them where I can.
So they can't fire you if they disagree with your methods?
No, I'm independently elected, but they certainly have ways of making my life a living hell if they really want to.
Got it. Thanks for the info. One more thing. I'd like to see Maya's body, if that's possible.
Of course. We brought it out of the freezer this morning. You'll find it in the morgue, over at the clinic. Dr. Pearson, our physician, is awaiting your arrival.
Good. I'll head there when we're done. Do you know who the woman in this picture is?
No idea, sorry.
What do you make of this?
Not sure, but if you need to know when somebody came to town, I'd suggest looking in the citizens' records behind me.
Right. I might do that if I can figure out who wrote this note. Any idea of what this opens?
Nope, not a clue.
I don't need to know his opinion on that. Did you know Carl Oscarson?
I wouldn't say so. He and my son were playmates as children, but they grew apart in their teens. Haven't talked to Carl myself for many years.
What do you think of Gabriel?
My nephew is a fine officer. He's a law and order kind of person. Stern, but fair.
Oh, law enforcement runs in the family.
I wish, but so far Gabriel and I are the only ones. I've been trying to get my son to join the force for years. All he cares about is girls and fishing. Suppose it could be worse. At least he brings home a fresh trout every now and then.
I'm looking for a young woman connected to the second victim, Carl.
All right. What do you know about her?
All I have is a picture of her that I found on Carl, but it's damaged and her face can't be clearly seen.
Tricky. If you had any kind of personal information, like an address, you could look her up in our records. They're in the drawers behind me.
Noted. I'll get back to you about this if I learn more. What do you think of Walter, the robot maker?
He may be a little strange, that man, but he has a heart of gold. Nordson wouldn't be the same without him.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Me? Oh, I've been doing this job for 15 years now. I took over when the previous commissary died. I'm married with 3 children. Anita, my youngest, is off studying science in the city now. We're counting the days to Christmas when she comes back to visit.
What's your opinion on Stina Ruth?
I respect her. She's a competent politician. She gets things done, unlike some of the other people on the council. Sure, she has a temper, and she's not the most tactful person, but she calls out bullshit when she sees it. When I'm right, she has my back, and when I'm wrong, well, she won't let me revel in my sweet ignorance for long.
Did you know Maya Strand?
Not at all. Museums aren't my cup of tea. I prefer to not dwell on the past.
What do you know about the murder in the locker room over at the workshop hall?
Not much. As you know, the murder happened shortly before you arrived, so I'm leaving the matter in your capable hands.
That's all I needed.
Very well.
Looks like a logbook. Maybe Anderson records his daily work there. Just lots of case files. The window offers a view over a street that connects to the town square. A collection of what seems to be both fiction and books on law and social sciences. If that's all Anderson's, he's quite well read. The drawer is labeled Address Records. These should come in handy. I'll be able to match a name to an address, or vice versa. Let's have a look. Yeah, this just confirms what Anderson told me. I don't think I need to look her up. I don't think I need to look him up. I don't think I need to look him up. Not a bad idea, but I'll need a name first. I don't think I need to look him up. As expected, nothing new. A small local greenhouse. A typical site in Nordson, it seems. I guess Anderson has a colleague. An old freight elevator of some kind, likely out of order. Healthy-looking plant. Locked. A list of admitted patients. I don't recognize any of the names. I'm guessing those contain patient files and such. It's a map of the clinic layout. Looks like the morgue is down the stairs, to the left of the front desk. Hi there.
Hello.
Thought I'd introduce myself, since I'll be coming here a lot. I'm Agent England, Central Bureau.
Oh, nice to meet you. It's a relief to have you here. We're all shook by these recent killings. Sure, the doctor's excited, but even his morbid curiosity has limits, you know. After all, we mostly treat coughs and the occasional broken limb here.
I get it. I'll do my best to help.
Don't worry, Maya. You'll be put to rest soon. I know. Sorry about the delay. I was needed urgently out of town. Oh, hello there. Me and this old gal have been expecting you.
Talkative, is she?
Oh, no doubt. The dead have a lot to say, you know. Sometimes more so than the living.
Is that so?
The living are fickle and prone to deceit. Once dead, we can't hide things anymore. Not from me, at least.
That's why we need ways to tell what someone is hiding.
I suppose. Psychology isn't really my field of expertise.
That's fine. You can leave that part to me. Now, I'd like to ask some questions.
Sure, go right ahead.
Did you know Carl Oscarson?
No. When I heard he was murdered, I didn't even recognize his name. I had to check my records to realize that I've treated him. To be fair, I've had many patients. But he must have been cursed with one of those awfully forgettable faces.
All right. Anything out of the ordinary in his medical history?
Sorry. Can't go into detail. Doctor-patient confidentiality, you know?
Keep it vague, then.
Well, okay. Let me put it this way. I doubt you'd learn much from his file.
Noted. Thanks. What do you think of Gabriel?
Your average policeman. I have no strong opinion about him one way or the other.
I'm looking for a young woman connected to the second victim, Carl.
I can't help with that. I didn't know Carl on a personal level.
What's your opinion on Volter, the robot maker?
Oh, he's a bundle of laughs, isn't he? Sometimes he helps me out at the clinic when I need to calm down an anxious child. Nissa, his little robot, is an amazing tool. First, the child helps me treat Nissa, and afterwards, I treat the child. Seeing the whole process in a safe and playful space makes them much more at ease.
What do you think of Commissary Anderson?
I think he does a fine job. He's been instrumental in making sure that I can work under such good conditions.
Yeah, this place is surprisingly well equipped. Definitely on par with our facilities in the city. What do you think of Stina Ruth, the councilwoman?
She can be quite an unpleasant woman. I can't say I've enjoyed my few interactions with her.
Did you know Maya Strand?
Not really, but I enjoyed listening to the occasional lecture of hers at the museum. She had quite an intellect, that woman.
So she wasn't a patient of yours?
Oh, she was, but that's all confidential, so I can't say much about it.
I understand, but anything you can share would help.
Well, during the autopsy, I noticed that she was unusually worn and feeble for her age.
Okay, and what does that tell us?
For one thing, that she would have needed help with the more physically demanding tasks of the museum.
Got it. Thanks. What can you tell me about yourself, Doctor?
Oh, me? I suppose I would qualify as a workaholic. Most of my time is spent here.
So how long have you been practicing medicine?
Must be 16 years now, I believe.
Ah. And you're the only doctor in Nordsund?
Yes, but we have good relations with the other settlements. We collaborate and pool resources when necessary.
Any theories on Carl's murder?
Not yet. I'll need to see the body first.
What are your conclusions about Maya's murder?
Most obvious first. The cause of death is acute blood loss due to the multiple stab wounds to the chest and stomach, 2 of which were lethal. The murder weapon is a mid-sized blade, likely a knife of some kind. There are some defense wounds on her arms, so the victim likely tried to shield herself against her assailant. I couldn't recover any biological traces of the murderer. There's no blood on her that isn't hers, or any traces of skin under her nails. This makes me suspect that the killer likely wore protective clothing and gloves. The time of death was roughly 2300 hours last Tuesday, 5 days ago today.
Do you recognize this couple?
The man is clearly the second victim, Carl. As for the woman, it's too hard to tell given the damage to the photo.
What do you make of this?
The handwriting looks feminine, but I'm not sure what to make of the contents.
Do you know what this opens?
Not a clue. But it looks like a one-of-a-kind key.
Ever use something like this?
I haven't, no.
That's enough questions for now.
Okie dokie. Oh, one last thing. I've been told that the second body is on its way here. If you come back later today, I should be able to tell you something about it.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. This might be useful. A razor-sharp surgical scalpel.